Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our live Mondays. My name is Laura Cantu, and I am super excited to be here with you today. Happy World Cup. World Cup Monday is the first day, official day of the World Cup. Today we have Team USA playing right now. So, beating Wales as that's the last thing I saw. So let's see what happens. So let me know in the chat if you are watching the World Cup, keeping up with the World Cup, because it is going to be on for the whole month, which is super exciting. My family's from Mexico, as a lot of you who have been here before might know. So tomorrow Mexico plays and we are very exciting. So let me know in the comment section if you are keeping up with that, or if you're, maybe that's not your cup of tea, that's fine. But, just wanted to put that out there. And welcome everybody. I hope that you guys are doing great. Today, we are talking about extracurricular activities. I will be explaining, what are the extracurricular activities that colleges love to see in an application. Colleges, extracurricular activities that stand out to colleges. So definitely make sure that you stay tuned, that you watch this presentation so that you don't miss any of these important tips that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to be talking about how colleges really analyze extracurricular activities and how they can help students win scholarships for college. And definitely stay tuned. Make sure that you ask your questions, because as always, at the end of the presentation, we do answer your questions. And I do see that Jenna is here and it's already commenting. Hi, Laura. Hello, Jenna. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for, being here once again. I know that you always join, and you are asking already any tips for middle school moms. I know that you are a mother of a senior and a 8th grader. I think you have commented in the past, but yes, I do have some tips for middle school moms. My middle school moms, dads, parents in general, middle school is the perfect time for students to find their passions and build a strong foundation for the rest of their academic career. So what does that mean? Well, easily extracurricular activities, which is what we're going to talk about today. Middle school is a perfect time for students to kind of find what it is that they're passionate about. Maybe explore different activities, different areas of whether it is a sport, arts, it can be a club, an organization, and I will talk about different examples and what what counts as an extracurricular activity. But definitely, have your student explore and find out what it is that they are passionate about. And, middle school students are still young enough to find something that they can stick with for the rest of, middle school and high school and hopefully beyond. So definitely that's a great piece of advice that I can give all middle school parents. And, I also talked about building a strong foundation. So learning study habits, learning leadership skills that are going to help your students in and out of the classroom. It all starts as early as possible. A kid's brain is like a sponge. So the more information you give them and the more they learn, especially early on, the better it will be. So definitely build a strong foundation, help them build healthy study habits, and understand reward their accomplishments. And maybe if they are not as good in a certain topic, maybe math, English, helping them by getting a tutor or something so that they can strengthen maybe they have certain weaknesses. So those are some tips that I have for my middle school parents. Hopefully that was helpful, but definitely stay tuned if you have more questions throughout the presentation, Jenna. Definitely ask them. Remember, today I'm going to be talking about extracurricular activities that colleges love to see. So don't miss out on that. Additionally, I want to remind everybody that is watching, we do have a free training where we share the 6 steps to help your student go to college with scholarships. This free training is super informational and it's full with important tips that have helped thousands of families, have a better understanding of the college admissions process and have helped a lot of parents know what their responsibilities are and how they can help their students throughout this process. So it doesn't matter if you have kids who are in middle school, doesn't matter if your students just started high school or if they're in their senior year. Make sure that you register for this free training and you understand and learn these important tips, because trust me, they're going to be quite helpful. I also want to remind you that we do go live every Monday at 3 p.m. here. You're watching it, YouTube and Facebook, and every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Instagram and TikTok. So definitely don't miss out those live streams. Don't forget to join because we share important presentations like the one we are going to be sharing today, and we don't want you to miss out on that. So definitely join. And I do want to remind you, for those of you who are interested, at the end of the presentation, since it is Thanksgiving season. Thanksgiving is this Thursday and Black Friday comes right after that. We are having a Black Friday sale and it's a limited time offer. It ends on Friday night. So if you want to join Best College Aid and have access to all the amazing benefits that we have inside of this membership, definitely register for the free training and stay until the end of that free training, because that is where you will have that Black Friday sale discount available to you. So register to this presentation if you haven't. If you have, you should already have gotten an email with this sale, this discount, so that you can join Best College Aid today and you can have access to all the amazing benefits that are inside of Best College Aid, such as unlimited online support and guidance through the college admissions process, discounts in Dell Technologies, free SAT and ACT prep, more than 80 plus video tutorials where we explain everything from when the students and the parents, are in middle school till they are in college. We have tutorials on how to fill out the FAFSA, how to fill out the CSS profile, how to write a great college admissions essay, how to create a college list, etc., etc. So if you want to join Best College Aid and have access to all of those amazing benefits and more, make sure that you register for this presentation, which is underneath this video's description, that you watch till the end and take advantage of that discount so that you can have access to us, access to our guidance, and, so that you can learn every single thing that we did that helped us go to college with full tuition scholarships and things that have helped hundreds of students inside of Best College Aid. Last year, we had 2 students get accepted into Ivy Leagues, into UPenn, and into Stanford University. We also had a student get into Harvard. So we had students get into great schools. We had students get into schools such as the University of Florida, Northeastern University. We had students get into the University of Texas at Austin, UCLA. So, and not to mention, they were accepted with amazing financial aid packages. So if you want your kid to have all those benefits, to have all those opportunities available to them, make sure that you watch this free training and stay till the end so that you can take advantage of this amazing discount that we have going on right now. Or if you just simply want to learn tips that are going to benefit you and you just want some more free information, register for the free training. Trust me, it's going to be super duper helpful. Alrighty, I see that we have a lot of people joining and I'm really excited. So why don't we go ahead and get this presentation rolling, this information on what are the extracurricular activities that colleges love to see. Let me take a sip of water and we can begin with today's presentation. Alrighty, why don't we get started with extracurricular activities. What are extracurricular activities? Well, first of all, these are activities that are not part of formal academic programs, right? So whatever the student, your kid does in extracurricular activities, this is not going to count towards their GPA, right? It's all going to be after school. It's not going to affect their GPA, and it's going to take place. Some of them do take place maybe during lunchtime they will meet, or if they have a free period, students might be able to meet with their club, with their organization, but usually it's going to take place after school and not there's no extracurricular activities that are going to affect a student's GPA. There are academic-based extracurricular activities and clubs, such as the mathletes. Maybe if there is an engineering club that does competitions, that's academic. But the results of those competitions, it's not going to better or worsen your student's GPA, even if it is an academic extracurricular activity. So I definitely do want to clarify that. So extracurricular activities are not a part of formal academic programs, do not affect the student's GPA, and most of them take place after school. Now, extracurricular activities have many benefits and advantages. So, some of the amazing benefits of practicing an extracurricular activity, if your student does, they can develop social and leadership skills that are going to help them, in and out of the classroom, and, displaying these leadership skills can improve the chances of your student getting accepted into a great school. And not only that, maybe getting a leadership scholarship. I will explain some of the scholarship that I was able to earn, my brother David was able to learn, and my brother Francisco was able to earn when we applied to college. But maybe a little spoiler alert, my brother Francisco did get a leadership scholarship from the college, from UNC Chapel Hill, and a leadership scholarship from a private source, from Comcast. So, these are learning these skills and showing them in the college application. And I will explain how that can be done, can be very beneficial for a student, right? So benefits and advantages, practicing extracurricular, like I said, can help develop social and leadership skills, can also help improve a student's academic performance if they do, practice or are part of an academic academic club organization, such as the mathletes, such as engineering club, maybe Spanish club, biology club, where they are learning content or just being involved in subjects, right? And learning more. For example, if a student is in the Spanish club and one of the things that they do is just have a whole hour dedicated to just speaking to each other in Spanish, this can be very helpful to them in their academic performance. If maybe they take honors Spanish classes, or if they decide to take AP classes, at one point, or take French AP, depending on what it is that the student does. If it is an academic club, it could be reflected in their grades and it could help them. So if they are part of the mathletes, and the student goes constantly to math competitions, and they're constantly practicing, this could help them in their math classes, and maybe eventually if they want to take college level courses, or online courses in math, or if they want to major in math, having this experience and having constantly practiced mathematics can be very, very beneficial. So that is another benefit of practicing extracurricular activities. Obviously, practicing an extracurricular activity can help the student discover talents that maybe they didn't know that they had. For example, myself, my parents, since we were little, they always had us in swimming lessons, just to learn. But eventually my parents were like, this is a great sport. And they saw that my brothers loved it. I liked it, but another thing that I was a part of when I was little was dance, right? And I love dancing lessons. I used to love to perform. And when I got to high school, I decided, I've always been interested in dancing. Swimming is not really something that I am super passionate about. So I'm going to try different things. I tried the dance club in my high school, and I tried theater. And I immediately fell in love with musical theater, because not only was I performing, but I was also doing dances, because the show's musical theater is a lot of singing and dancing and acting. So I was able to discover my passion, a passion that eventually led me to get a theater scholarship for the college that I was accepted into. So definitely extracurricular activities can be a great way for students to discover their passions. Maybe it can help students discover what it is that they want to major in, and I will give examples about that in just a second. But these are just some of the amazing benefits of enrolling your kids in extracurricular activities. And another is demonstrating an aspect of the student's personality that transcripts cannot, right? So if a student practices an extracurricular activity and this is displayed in their college application, that is going to show something to the college, something that a college admissions officer is not going to be able to see by seeing the student's transcripts and GPAs, right? If the college admissions officer sees that your student was part of Habitat for Humanity for all 4 years of high school, or if they were part of Best Buddies for all 4 years of high school, and maybe they want to major in special education, the college admissions officer is going to put two and two together and say, wow, this person is not only, giving us good grades, giving us maybe good SAT and ACT scores, but they have demonstrated that they're really passionate about this since their freshman year of high school because, they've been part of Best Buddies, which Best Buddies, for all of you who might be watching, you who might not know, Best Buddies is an organization, a club that a lot of high schools in the United States have, where basically the members of the club become mentors of students with maybe disabilities or special needs, and it's an amazing club. I was part of it, and I had a couple of friends who went on to become special ed teachers, and it was great because they really loved helping others, and in high school they were part of Best Buddies, and not only were they part of Best Buddies, but they also were the president, and one of them was the treasurer of the club during their senior year of high school. And I remember they talked about this in college admissions and college applications, so it's a great way for the student to demonstrate who they are and what they are passionate about, right? So that's why extracurricular activities are very important. And it is important that the student finds something that they're passionate about, because ultimately colleges want to see students who are passionate about something, who are, not only saying, oh, I really like football, I like watching football. No, maybe if they don't play football, but they are the team managers, right? Or maybe if they have a whole vlog dedicated to it, or they become the photographers of the school football team, and they can talk about this in their college application. So colleges they don't only want to hear, oh, I like this. They want to see what it is that the student did with their passion. So that's why it's important that when the student is looking for an extracurricular activity, that they find something that they really, really do enjoy, because not only is that going to make it easier for them to go to rehearsals, go to practices, go to club meetings, but it's also going to be reflected in their application. I love theater. I really, really enjoyed it, and I only joined it my sophomore year of high school, and I demonstrated that I loved it not only by joining my school's theater club and maybe being part of the musicals, but I also decided to run for the board and to do things with the club, maybe make fundraisers so that we could have money for the club, and also work and do some social work and help kids who we used to help schools that didn't have the funds to have a theater program, and we would help raise funds so that these schools were able to have arts in their schools and could help could have art programs and theater programs because there were a lot of kids that were interested in this. So those were some of the things that I did and I really liked to do. And I talked about this in my college applications, and it was definitely something that it helped me along the way. So definitely, my point is, if your student is looking still for an extracurricular activity, just help them, right? Help them not only by just choosing an extracurricular activity. Of course, help them choose something, but help them choose something that they really, truly, genuinely like. Because trust me, it's going to make the process much easier, and it's going to be, very rewarding. Because, as I said, it's going to be very motivating for the student, and they are going to want to continue to do this probably. When I was in high school and I did theater, one of the search criteria for when I was creating a college list was adding schools that had theater programs, because I didn't want to major in theater when I went to college. I didn't major in that. I minored in it. But my search criteria was schools that had theater programs that could offer me a scholarship. I wasn't looking for conservatories or, the top theater schools. I just wanted to continue to do it. And I did find schools that allowed me to major in something else, but also offered theater scholarships for me to continue to practice this when I was in college. So I eventually was able to find Marist College. I applied and I auditioned for their theater program, and I was offered $8,000 in scholarships to just do theater and minor in theater at that school. And, it was never hassle. It was never, oh, I have to go to rehearsal. Oh, I have to do this. It was always something that I wanted to do because I liked it that much, right? So pro tip, my parents, my tip for you is, yes, help your student choose an extracurricular activity, but help them choose it. Don't choose it for them, and help them find something that they like. I know I said it like 30 times already, but it is very important. And, I've seen it with myself, with my siblings. I lived it myself, but not only that, I've seen it with a lot of our students inside of Best College Aid. When they choose something that they like, that they're passionate about, it works. Everything works so smoothly. Trust me. All right. So just to have a little recap, some of the extracurriculars, the things that extracurricular activities can do is it can help maximize the chances of your students being accepted into the colleges in their list. It can also help them earn merit-based scholarships. So like this theater scholarship that I received when I was in college, or the athletic scholarship my brother received when he went to swim for college. And it could also help develop leadership and discipline that can help the student a lot, when writing a college application essay, or when, having an interview, or just when filling out those applications and listing everything that they did, listing that they were the president of something, listing that they were the vice president of a club, or if they were part of a committee head. This is all something that can be talked about and that can be very, very beneficial, right? So I do want to give you now some examples of different types of extracurricular activities and what can count as an extracurricular activity. So an extracurricular activity that your student can practice can be, high school clubs, the Spanish club, biology club, math club, English club. There can also be nonprofits such as Relay for Life. It can also be being part of student government, SGA, and having a leadership position inside of these groups and organizations. It can also be being in a sports team, football, soccer, swimming, baseball, basketball, you name it. There's even esports. So if your student is very, very talented at video games, there is collegiate level esports, which is literally video games. And there are colleges such as UC Irving. There is, I think the University of Michigan also offers scholarships for students who practice esports. So not only are sports like physical activity sports, but esports can also help students get scholarships. So there goes your random fact, your fun fact of the day. There's also religious organizations, religious, churches that do offer scholarships or that do offer extracurricular activities for students, being part of maybe the youth group of at your local church. A lot of, churches do trips and stuff, so missions. So that can also be considered as an extracurricular activity that can be very beneficial for a student. There's also community service can be considered an extracurricular activity. I had a friend of mine who was accepted into Harvard University, and she, throughout her 4 years of high school, she partnered with the Ronald McDonald organization. And basically, she was partnered with them, and she would have a yearly fundraiser that she planned all year long, and she would collect thousands of dollars to donate to the Ronald McDonald organization. And, she helped kids, and she, raised a lot of money to help children in need. So this was something that she did. It was it was a community service / passion project that helped her out a lot. So definitely that is something else that could be done. There is also part-time jobs. If a student has a part-time job after high school, after they get out of high school, or on the weekends or during the summer, this could also be considered an extracurricular activity. And maybe if it's a job that is somewhat related to what they want to major in, what they want to study, this can be a double whammy and can be very helpful. There's a student inside of Best College Aid who wants to be a doctor one day. So she works at a dental office after school. She works in the office, basically collecting the forms that the patients, when they come in, they fill out. It's nothing like dental related, but she does work in a dental office and she's in that environment. So that is something that could be helpful when applying to colleges and talking about experience. Well, she can say, well, I worked in the office, in a dental office, and I was working in the reception, but I was in that environment and I was able to meet a lot of doctors, dentists that gave me a lot of advice. So that is something that could help your student. And finally, academic competitions, like I explained, being part of the mathletes at your student, joining the mathletes, or joining maybe a speech competition, a language competition. There's a lot of schools or a lot of districts that will do language competitions where the students who are maybe taking French classes, Spanish classes, German, they will have competitions where students have to recite poetry, or they have to demonstrate how well they speak a language. All of this can be considered as a academic competition or an academic extracurricular activity. Engineering clubs. There's a lot of engineering schools that have engineering clubs, and there's a lot of engineering competitions. There at my high school, they had an engineering club, and I had a friend who was actually part of our school's engineering club, and they had a competition at least once a month. And all 4 years of high school, she was part of the club, and her senior year, she became the president of the club. And when she was applying to colleges, of course, she wanted to go to engineering school and I think it was a mechanical engineer. And I think she applied to all the schools that she applied to were tech schools. So she applied to Florida Polytech, Caltech, Georgia Tech. She got accepted into great schools, but she got a full ride to Florida Polytech, and she attended there. Now she's a great engineer, and definitely being part of the engineering club, going to all those competitions, not only learning from the teacher who was in charge of that club and taught her a lot, all of that was really helpful for her, because she developed skills that definitely helped her along the way. But also it was something that she was able to show to a college to be like, listen, not only do I love engineering and I want to major in engineering, but for the past 4 years, I've been part of the engineering club. I have been going to competitions. I was the president of the engineering club. I won all these awards, and, I really want to do this, and I have all this knowledge. So that definitely helped her. So I know that was a lot of information, but those are just some examples of extracurricular activities that students can practice. So definitely always remember to help your student choose an extracurricular that they're passionate about. If they haven't found something, help them choose something. Don't choose it for them. Help them choose something that they like, okay? And now I'm going to give you the personal examples that I was talking about earlier, what it is that I did, what it is that my two siblings, Francisco and David, did. We got full tuition scholarships to college, and most of it was thanks to our extracurricular activities. So David, as you can see, that's him when he was a baby. He went to college for swimming. He was able to receive an athletic scholarship of $8,000 per semester. And all of this, stemmed from his love of swimming. He started swimming. All my siblings and myself, we started swimming since we were about 4 years old. I mean, we were taught to swim very little, as you can see in the picture. But since he was little, David knew I love swimming. This is what I'm passionate about, and I want to do it for as long as I can, right? And disclaimer: David was not Olympic level swimmer, and he wasn't that fast. He was fast, but he always knew, yeah, maybe I will never make it to the Olympics, but he always knew that he wanted to maybe do it in college. So I do want to clarify that, and I also want to let students and parents know, if you're watching this, your student doesn't have to be Olympic level basketball player, football player. Well, it's not football in the Olympics. Soccer player, or hockey player, etc. There are different divisions of every college sports, and a lot of colleges will offer scholarships to students, the type of student that they need at their institution. So don't think that in order to get a scholarship in order for your student to get a scholarship, an athletic scholarship, they just have to be the best of the best. There are over 3,000 colleges and universities in the US. A lot of them have sports programs, and there are D1 schools, Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. The colleges that usually do give athletic scholarships are D1 and D2. But if your student does practice a sport, and they're young enough and they want to continue to do it, of course, have them practice it for as long as they can, have them improve. And they also have to go through the recruitment process, which is what David went through when he was in high school, during his junior and senior year mostly, where he was contacting coaches and talking to them about possibly swimming at the school, and maybe receiving a scholarship for doing so. So I just wanted to clarify that. Don't think that your student has to be in the top 1% or just be the fastest runner or the fastest swimmer for them to be able to get recruited and be able to swim or run or do whatever sport in college. There's a lot of colleges, and as I said, David wasn't super fast. He did go to a D1 school and he was really fast, but the way that when he was looking at colleges and talking to coaches, he was looking for schools where he was going to be an asset, right? Where he was going to help that specific program maybe win a championship or just have a fast swimming class. So there's a technique to it, and inside of Best College Aid, we do have a whole section dedicated to students who want to go through the recruitment process, student athletes, and students who would like to get it recruited and be able to play the sport that they practice in college and maybe get a scholarship for it, because it is a process and it is something that is going to be unique to each athlete, each student, but scholarships are available out there. That's why when I tell you guys that students should be passionate about their extracurriculars and they should start as early as possible, this is specific mostly with sports, because becoming a great athlete takes time, and usually students who do go to college for a specific sport, these are students who have been practicing this sport maybe since 9th grade, maybe since 8th grade, 7th grade, 6th grade. So if you have kids in middle school, like Jenna was asking, I know you said that you asked for tips for middle school moms. If you have a kid that's in middle school and it's maybe interested in a sport, the time to enroll them is now, and give them as much time as needed to get better at that sport. All right, so that is an example of sports scholarships. Now, there is theater scholarships, or scholarships based on the arts, and that is the type of scholarship that I was able to receive when I was in high school. I was able to get a theater scholarship. It was a $2,000 per semester, and I was able to continue to do theater for the 4 years of high school. I was part of the show Anything Goes, Cabaret, Chicago, and we also did straight plays, there were the fall plays. No, there was, the fall plays, and it was super awesome, and I was basically getting paid to do what I liked. I was able to minor in theater. And of course, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, what I did to achieve this was when I was little, I took dance lessons. And then when I got to high school, I was like, you know what? I really want to give theater a try. I want to give it a go. I had the dancing background, and with theater, musical theater specifically, there's a lot of dancing, singing, and acting involved, all of which my theater coach in high school helped me polish the acting and the singing. And I was able to audition for plays in high school, and I was part of a lot of shows, and all of this rehearsal and learning helped me, when I was applying to colleges, when I was auditioning for schools to get that theater scholarship that basically allowed me to continue to do theater in high school. So, I mean, in college. So definitely theater is another venue that if your student does theater, it's not only theater, there's a lot of arts programs that can be very rewarding for students. There is music, being part of the marching band, being part of or playing the piano, the violin, the flute, just playing any instrument, being part of the choir. My school, Marist College, had a club or had the music club. No, it wasn't a club. It was just like the department of music. They had was called Marist Singers, and students who auditioned and basically were part of the choir got a scholarship to continue to do so. And they did have to meet certain requirements, that like performing in the winter and fall, and maybe not the summer, the spring shows. Those were some of the requirements that they had to meet, but ultimately they also were able to receive scholarships. So arts can also be a great avenue for students to receive scholarships, right? So that was me. That is something that I did. Now I want to talk about my brother Francisco, because he did do swimming, but he wasn't like David, where he knew, like swimming is something, I want to be a student athlete, I want to continue to swim in college. He just did it kind of to do it. He stopped doing it his senior year of high school, but he was always so involved in high school, so much so that he was part of the SGA, Student Government Association. He was the president of his class during all 4 years of high school, and he was also part of the National Honor Society. He was the vice president. Actually, all my brothers and I were in NHS in high school, and we were all on the board our senior years. I was the president my senior year. David was, I believe, the treasurer, and Francisco was the vice president. But yeah, Francisco's extracurricular activities were more leadership-based and involvement-based. So he was part of SGA. He was the, like I said, the president of his class, and all of this was super helpful when it came to applying for private scholarships, which he did win one from Comcast. It was a leadership position. I mean, a leadership scholarship that helped him get private scholarship aid. So it wasn't from the college, but he also received an institutional scholarship from UNC Chapel Hill. Not only did he get into UNC as an out-of-state student, which is way harder than it is for an in-state student, but he was also able to get a private scholarship. And all of this was on top of the of the need-based aid that he received by filling out the FAFSA. And also he had some academic scholarships as well, because he had really, really good grades. So, as you can see, all three of us, we were able to get scholarships and get into great colleges by practicing different types of extracurriculars. David, he did sports. I did theater. Francisco was part of student government and, organizations where he had to practice his leadership positions. So, those are some examples that I have for you. And hopefully maybe this was a little inspirational for you, or gives you a little bit of perspective as a parent. If you have kids that are maybe in high school right now and they do practice an extracurricular activity, and you were maybe confused, maybe you didn't even know that them being part of the National Honor Society or being part of the engineering club at their school was such a great opportunity for them when it came to applying to college, or that could help them, earn scholarships or maximize the odds of being accepted. I hope that was helpful to you, because a lot of parents do ask us, oh, my son, my daughter doesn't practice any extracurricular activities. They are part of the engineering club of their school, or they are in the swim team, but they don't practice any extracurricular activities. And then we tell them, well, they do. If they're part of the swimming club or the swim team, or if they are part of SGA, that is an extracurricular activity. So they are practicing and they are involved. So hopefully that helped. Maybe if you saw this and you realize that your children are not part of actually anything and are not, maybe they don't practice an extracurricular activity, well, remind them. Colleges want to see well-rounded students. Colleges want to see students that are part of a high school club. Maybe that they are helping a nonprofit, that are part of SGA, student government, maybe practice a sport. If they are part of a religious group like the youth group, or if they go on missions every summer, maybe they do community service based extracurricular activities where they are raising funds for those in need. Maybe they have a part-time job, or they are part of an academic competition extracurricular activity. Those are the extracurricular activities that colleges like to see. So definitely, if your student doesn't practice, or you realize, oh, my student needs to get on this, they do. They need to start finding something that they are passionate about and something that can really help them, maximize those odds of getting accepted, and not only get accepted, but get accepted with scholarships. And speaking of getting accepted to college with scholarships, I want to remind you, if you haven't done so already, please register to our free training, 6 steps to go to college with scholarships, 6 steps to help your kids get accepted into the right university with scholarships. These tips are super helpful, and they have helped thousands of students and parents plan for college, help their children, and kind of have a better understanding of the college admissions process. And if you are interested at the end of this presentation in joining Best College Aid, remember that we are having a Black Friday sale that ends this Friday at midnight, where we are, basically giving you a great discount to join and to have access to all the amazing benefits that we have inside of our membership, Best College Aid. So if you haven't done so already, watch this free training. And if you want to join Best College Aid, stay till the end of the training to take advantage of our huge Black Friday sale. Don't miss out on this sale. Trust me, there's a lot of benefits to being a member of Best College Aid, such as unlimited online support. We have a free, not a free, but it's basically a private members group where members are constantly asking questions. So this is something that is inside Best College Aid. So all of the people who join Best College Aid are members, have access to a private group that is exclusive to members, and we are constantly giving support. And there are parents, students who are constantly asking questions, and their questions are being answered. There's over 80 video tutorials where we explained every single aspect of the college admissions process in short video tutorials that are concise and to the point. We have also discounts to Dell Technologies. We have free SAT, ACT prep for students. We have the REA store, which is a store that sells all the AP, SAT, ACT practice booklets. We have discounts to those booklets, to those practice books for our students. So those are some of the amazing benefits that we have inside of Best College Aid. So if you want to access those benefits and be a member for life, because if you join Best College Aid and you choose to make the one-time payment, you get access to all of this for life. It's a one-time payment, and you don't have to renew anything. You don't have to pay again for anything. So definitely take advantage of that. Take advantage of our Black Friday sale that we have for you today. And if you if you just want to learn free information, free tips, visit this link underneath this video's description and register. Trust me, you are not going to regret it. Alrighty, so time to answer some of the questions that were sent to us. over the past couple of days, we did get some questions asked. So I want to answer those questions. First, I'm going to drink some water because I've been talking so much. Don't forget to ask your questions in the chat as well, because we do answer those questions at the end of the presentation, which is that time right now. So if you have any questions for me right now, now is the time to ask them in the chat so that I can answer them. Alrighty. So let's read some of the questions that were sent to us. So Dustin Hughes asked us, what do colleges focus the most when looking at an application? All right, so let's read that again, and I'm going to make this smaller. Center it more. So the question from Dustin is, what do colleges focus on the most when looking at an application? That is an amazing question. And yeah, colleges, when it comes to analyzing a student's application, mostly they are going to look at different aspects. Depending on the college, there are some colleges that are going to prioritize certain things over the others, but generally colleges are going to look at everything, right? Especially, the more competitive the school is, the more they're really going to analyze every aspect of your application. So that's why we always tell our parents to tell their students that they have to create a very, very well-rounded application, and that every aspect of their application has to be, not perfect, but as best as it can be, right? So what does that mean? Obviously, we tell our parents to encourage students to get good grades. So GPA, having good transcripts, good grades, that is a given, something that colleges are automatically going to look at, right? But there are things that can be worked for, and that can be improved, and that students can do to improve their application, such as writing a great college application essay. Our parents always ask us, how can my student write a good essay? There are more specific things that we explain inside of Best College Aid, but a great college admissions essay is basically where a student answers the question, answers the prompt correctly, and it's making sure that the question that is being asked is answered, but also where they really do display who they are in that essay, right? Or just a portion of their personality, right? So a great college essay is something that colleges are always going to analyze, always are going to look at. If the school is test optional, or maybe if the school if they require the test scores, if they're not test optional, if it's mandatory to submit, the grades, because there's a lot of schools that don't require test results, SAT or ACT scores. Well, if the school is mandatory, then definitely this is something that they're going to consider. So if your student is applying to a school where the SAT or SAT is required, having a high enough SAT or ACT score, meeting that average SAT or ACT score, because every school is going to be different. They're going to have a different average score per accepted students. So meeting that average, or maybe if the school is test optional, and inside of Best College Aid, we do teach our parents and our students when is the best time to decide. If a school is test optional, when is the best time to decide if it's a good idea or a bad idea to send in those test scores. That is something that we do teach inside of Best College Aid, and there are times that it's better to not send in test scores. So, colleges are going to look at different aspects of the application, but the biggest advice I have is trying to have as well-rounded of an application as possible, and focus on everything, on completing everything to the best of the student's ability. If there is an optional supplemental essay portion, just because it's optional doesn't mean the student should not fill it out. Definitely write those supplemental essays. If there is, maybe a optional interview, go to the interview, have your student prepare for the interview and do it so that they can give the school extra reasons or extra opportunities to get to know them. So, depending on the school, there are schools who will have they do detail exactly what it is that they're looking for or that they do consider in an application. And there are ways to see, and we do teach this inside of Best College Aid, what is the average test score of the accepted student? What is the average GPA, grade point average? What is the thing that they consider the most when reviewing an application? But most of the time, colleges are going to also want a well-rounded application where the student demonstrates, leadership, where the student demonstrates good grades, etc. So that is all something that should be considered. So hopefully that answered the question. We did get another question from Mark Levi. So Mark Levi asked us the following question, and I'm just going to center it a little bit because it was a little off. Let's see. Oops. All right, there you go. So I'm just gonna move it. All right, so Mark Levi asked, Mark Levi asked, could my son get a scholarship for being part of the marching band? Could my student get a scholarship for being a part of the marching band? Yes, there are colleges that do offer marching band scholarships. Students who are part of the marching band in high school and want to continue to do it in college and maybe be part of that school's marching band, specifically those bigger schools that might have big sports teams. They might offer marching band scholarships, might accept students and have them join the marching band and give them a scholarship to do so. So this is something that definitely, your student could receive a scholarship for. Now, it's obviously a process where your student is going to have to look for those types of schools and the schools that do offer scholarships for students to join the marching band, because it's not going to be something automatic that your student just applies and it's offered a scholarship. It's kind of going to be like, the recruitment process or the process that I went through when I was looking for colleges and I was looking for schools that had theater programs. I was looking for, yes, schools that had theater programs, but schools that had theater programs where I could receive a scholarship for doing this as an extracurricular activity and not like as my major. So definitely it's going to be a search criteria that you and your student, your son, are going to have to add to your college search and, find the colleges that are going to offer these scholarships for your son to continue to do marching band in college. But yes, the concise answer is yes, he could get a scholarship, but he would have to, most likely continue to do marching band in college and find a school that does, offer scholarships to do this, because there are schools that might not offer scholarship. They might say, yes, you can be part of the marching band here at this college, but we don't offer scholarships. So if a specific institutional scholarship for marching band is something that your son is interested in and that you would like to find, then that is going to be part of the search criteria. If you want to learn more strategies, Mark, definitely register to our free presentation, our free training, where we talk about the 6 steps to help your kids go to college with scholarship. This is going to help you out a lot and is going to give you some insights and some tips that can help you, okay? A great question from Mark. All right, another question that we were sent in this question from Jonesy Roy, who asked, what is better, dual enrollment or AP classes? Once again, what is better, dual enrollment or AP classes? All right, so what's better, dual enrollment or AP classes? That is a great question, and a question that parents ask us a lot because they probably have students where at their high school, they offer both dual enrollment and AP classes. So just to do a little recap, dual enrollment and AP classes are both college level courses that a lot of high schools offer. So AP classes, advanced placement, these mostly take place, the class itself, inside of the high school, and are going to be classes that take all year long, and students are going to be taking this class, and at the end of the year, in May, it's the AP exams, where students are going to take the end of the year exam that basically will state whether or not, and will determine whether or not the student is going to get that AP credit, or have a passing exam. Not the AP credit, but if whether or not if the student gets a 3 or higher, that is a passing grade. And they can send this test results to colleges, and colleges will determine if they take this as a credit, and the student can go into college with a college credit and therefore save thousands of dollars. Now, that's AP classes, right? And dual enrollment usually takes place in a local community college. So in a lot of the cases, students might do, if there are 6 periods in the day, they might go to first through 5th period, and 6th period they will drive to their local community college, or it might take place online, and students will have to take this college level course at a local community college online and have the opportunity to learn college credits if they pass the class at the end of the year. Now, I do want to mention, because the question is, which one's better, dual enrollment or AP classes? Neither of them are guaranteed college credits. So a college is going to be ultimately, the university that the student is accepted to is going to ultimately determine whether or not it's going to award those college credits to the student. So a student could get a 3 in their AP biology class and send it to a school. Let's say they got accepted into UNC Chapel Hill. They send that a score of 3 to UNC. And I'm not saying this is a fact, but maybe UNC is going to say, you know what, if you want to major in biology, if you want your student to major in biology, but they got a 3, your student's not going to get a college credit because they had to get a 5 or a 4 for us to accept those credits. So, it all comes down to the college. Now, a lot of students say, well, dual enrollment is easier. And a lot of parents say, well, I want what's easier for my son or my daughter. But, just because taking a dual enrollment might be easier, that doesn't mean that every college is going to take those credits. Because let's say your student takes a bunch of dual enrollment classes at your local community college. Well, if your student wants to go to school in California and you guys live in New York, maybe a school like UCLA, it's not going to take those dual enrollment credits because it's not going to translate, or they're just not going to take those credits. So it's all comes down to what the college is going to accept. And, most of the time, AP credits are the ones, if the student passed the exam and maybe they got a 4 or 5, colleges are most likely going to be accepting those credits more than dual enrollment. Now, it all depends on the school. It all depends on where the community college or the college where the student got those dual enrollment credits at, and the types of classes that they wear. So it all depends, right? It's not like a concise answer, but AP classes, if the student passes the exam, specifically if they pass it with a 4 or a 5, the chances of a college or university taking in those credits is a little higher. So now it all depends on the school, but they both, what's important to recognize about both dual enrollment and AP classes is that they are both types of college level courses, classes that can help students earn college credits that can help the student, get college credits and save money. But also, if the student has good grades in these classes, it can also help improve their weighted GPA and have a higher weighted GPA, which can be amazing and can also look great in a college application. And both AP and dual enrollment classes can do so. So hopefully that answered your question and that was helpful, and that can help you and your family, your children. Okay, so Jackie Stella sent us this question, and this was the question: how can we start helping my 9th grader prepare for college applications? I don't want to be too pushy. All right, so great question by Jackie. So how can Jackie help her 9th grading? How can Jackie help her 9th grader, prepare for college admissions? She doesn't want to be too pushy, and that is something that a lot of parents say to us. A lot of parents come up to us and tell us, I want to help my kid, but maybe they are not interested in receiving my help, or I don't want to tell them do this, because the way that a teenager's brain works sometimes is you tell them something and they do quite the opposite. So we have seen it all. We have, over 1,000 members inside of Best College Aid from all parents with kids of all ages. So we understand that it can be very hard sometimes to have that open line of communication with your kids. But the fact that, you as a parent, you are watching this and you are staying tuned to this information that we're sharing and you want to learn, it's already very telling and it's already going to be very beneficial. So, if you have a kid in 9th grade or a kid that is starting high school, the first step that you have to take is kind of understand how the process works and understand the college admissions process. You don't have to be an expert on it yet, but just having a general idea on what it is that you can do and what your responsibilities as a parent are. So there are certain responsibilities with the college admissions process that are solely a student's responsibility. There are responsibilities that are both students and a parent, and there are times that parents have to, take the wheel and, responsibilities are solely a parent's job. So filling out financial aid forms, if the student is applying as a dependent, this is something that is better if a parent, if a mom or dad takes responsibility of this or helps the student fill out these forms, not because it's impossible for a high schooler to fill out the FAFSA or the CSS profile. They probably can do it, but remember, a high school student is so preoccupied, especially a senior, with applying to college, applying for scholarships, staying on top of grades, that sometimes is better for them to receive help from their parents. So for sure, it is important that that you understand as a parent which ones are your responsibilities and which ones are your students' responsibilities, and that you help them and you are there to support them and let them know, hey, I'm not going to push you. I just want you to find what it is that you like, what it is that you want to do, and I will support you with whatever you decide, because you don't want to make them feel kind of like we talked with extracurricular activities. You don't have to choose, and you shouldn't choose an extracurricular for your kid. You should help them find what it is that they like. So having that communication and talking to them in that way, making them realize that ultimately is their choice and you're just going to help them choose the right thing rather than choose for them. That is the biggest piece of advice that I can give any parent that might be struggling with not knowing how to talk to their student. Let your student know that you are there to help them, not to choose for them, not to make a decision for them. Now, if you would like to find more information, or if you're really lost in the college admissions process, or if you would just like to have a place to start, I recommend that you register for our free training on the 6 steps to help your student go to college with scholarships. This free training, this free presentation is super helpful. It has helped thousands of families. And, I always recommend it. It's a free resource that we have for parents that might be a little lost or don't know where to begin. If you really want to learn information that can help you get started and that can help you get a general understanding of the college admissions process, especially nowadays, post-COVID, getting back from that 2020, 2021, how things are working right now, definitely register for the free training. Completely free and completely helpful. So don't miss out on that, and don't forget to register. Don't forget to watch it, because it's going to be very beneficial. Okay, so once again, the link is below this video's description, or if you're watching on Instagram, the link is in my bio for you to register for this free training. But that was my answer. Hopefully that was helpful. And I want to remind you that, we are live every week, every Monday at 3 p.m. and every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Instagram and TikTok. So if you would like to join us for our next live stream tomorrow at 3 p.m., make sure that you follow us on Instagram. Our social media is Best College Aid USA for all of our English content, Best College Aid USA. So if you want to join our live streams, just follow us on social media. And if you just want to stay up to date with everything that we have, follow us, Best College Aid USA. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe this video because that helps us keep creating content for you and your family. So like, subscribe, share this video, share our channel with somebody who might benefit from it. And, stay tuned every Monday at 3 p.m., every Tuesday at 3 p.m. for our live streams. I really, really do hope that you found this information helpful. And I hope that you register for our free training in the link in this video's description. Trust me, it is super helpful and is going to be very beneficial for you as a parent and is going to help you help your kids. All right. Well, with that being said, that is all the information that I have for today. If you have any questions and this live stream's already over, you can always leave a comment in the video's description. In the comment section, and we can get to it. We are also live every Monday and Tuesday, like I said. And in the free presentation that we have for you, we have a live chat where you can also answer your questions. So you can answer your questions as you watch the presentation. So hopefully, if you want to help your kid, if you want to help your children, register and watch it. Trust me, it's going to help you out a lot. But that's everything that I have for you today, guys. My name is Laura Cantu. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing, amazing day, an amazing week. Happy Thanksgiving week, because, it is, wow, it's crazy. It's almost Thanksgiving on Thursday. And if you are watching the World Cup, I'm assuming if you're American or whatever you might be from, good luck to your team if they're playing tomorrow. Mexico's playing, so good luck to Mexico. Good luck to the USA team and all the other teams. It's going to be great, and I hope that you have an amazing rest of your week. Happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, and I will see you again, either in the free training, in tomorrow's live stream, or, I'll see you around. Thank you for joining and have an amazing day. Bye.